All good, April?
All right.
Okay, then.
Welcome, everyone. We're just going to wait a few seconds as the room starts to populate. So just bear with us for just a few more seconds. All right. Welcome. Hi, everyone. My name is Vanis Pabodi. I will be moderating this launch webinar for you this evening, this morning, wherever you are in the world. I am the co-founder of Starburst Accelerator, and we are joined as part of this event with a prestigious mix of speakers and panelists who will be sharing more insights as part of our launch announcement of what will be our new Aviation Accelerator program based in Singapore. With that, I just, as a reminder, want to remind audience members and panelists that this event is being recorded. We will be providing a link to our website and this video after the event. So please be mindful of that. In the meantime, I would like to just say how excited we are for bringing in this mix of stakeholders. This has been quite an incredible undertaking over the last few months to years, depending on how involved you've been. Obviously, these are very uncertain times, and I'm sure many of you can speak to your relevant experiences, but this is truly an incredible gathering of leaders from across the aviation innovation ecosystem who have come together to launch this initiative for supporting entrepreneurship and technology across the aviation sector. We are very grateful for our support from our partners at Enterprise Singapore, Singapore Airlines, Panasonic, the Association of Aerospace Industries in Singapore, and as well as joined by founders from companies that we've seen wonderful success with. So Airfree Etienne will be speaking at the end of this webinar. So with that, I'd like to invite Mr. Satvinder Singh, the Assistant CEO of Enterprise Singapore, to show his video. This will be the agenda for the next hour or so as we invite our sponsors and partners to share their insights as to how they see this initiative unfolding as we continue to move forward. So with that, Mr. Singh, please, I invite you to share your thoughts on what your vision is as part of this initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. This is a true opportunity for Enterprise Singapore to be part of. We're all very excited this afternoon. I just have a couple of words to say, and I'm sure it's going to resonate with most of you. We all are facing quite difficult times with the COVID pandemic, and as all of us know that flight capacity globally has been disrupted, so has all the supply chains, which is forcing a lot of industry into a new operating paradigm. And with this challenging times for the aviation industry, at the same time, it's also presented opportunities for many of the companies in our fraternity to rethink of our business models and operationally process to leverage on maybe innovation and technology to ensure that we survive through this ordeal that all of us are facing. For example, the Changi Airport Group has recently introduced a series of touch-free technology so that travelers can breeze through the whole of Changi Airport with minimal contact with staff and surfaces. Actually, from facial to the iris recognition, instead of the usual fingerprint scanning, to touch-free screens, lift buttons. I mean, I can see that the aviation industry is really truly reimagining the future and working towards these goals. Singapore Airlines has also launched its Asia App Challenge in 2020 in June, which again encourages a lot of startups and SMEs to reimagine the air industry in the post-COVID world and to develop new solutions for the ever-evolving industry. the ecosystem players are all, I can see, taking and seeking all of these opportunities through innovative solutions, and all are spurring to look for all these new capabilities. And I think along with it will come a lot more new business models in preparation of the recovery. So with the pace of all of this technology disrupting and the way businesses are run, and I think we all in Singapore, we all kind of recognize that there's a need to quickly integrate the use of innovation and technology into our ecosystem. And this is where we are deeply proud to be supporting Starbus Private Limited to launch this inaugural Asia Aviation Accelerator program in Singapore, which is truly going to offer opportunities for all the stakeholders, such as the startups, the airlines, the ground handlers, and all the supporting companies in our ecosystem to collaborate with one another, and also to resolve some of these industry-wide challenges. With the launch of the program, we really hope that it can achieve three objectives. The first, the program is structured to promote co-innovation between startups, the SMEs, and large corporates. And all of this is through cross-learning and development. So startup and SMEs will have access to problem statements, including pre-existing solutions from airlines, the ground handlers, and the MNCs. All of this cross-pollination of ideas between stakeholders at every level truly will go a long way in resolving the issues faced by our industry. Second, the program, through partnerships with our local institutes of higher learning, will aim to help develop the next generation of talent to be readily available to enter and to reshape the aviation industry. Now, this can be done in two ways. One, the industry veterans from the aviation industry themselves will be invited to contribute to the learning journey with all of our students. Two, the program will also feature hackathons to expose our students to develop new ideas and solutions to resolve real business or operational challenges faced by the aviation industry. And I've actually met some of those young people, and they all are not sitting on the laurels. Many of them are rethinking and wanting to be part of all of this exciting change. Third, the Accelerator program is also going to help position Singapore aviation industry for recovery and for growth in the post-COVID era. Now, this is going to be accomplished by accelerating of all the innovation to improve operational efficiency and customer experience for all the future air travel. Now, I believe that these developments will all lead to the formation of new business models, which we all truly need them, because today it's so critical to remain resilient and to remain relevant and to continue to be contributing sustainably to the new normal. Starbus has a truly impressive track record accelerating and supporting over close to, I'm told, close to about 400 to 500 startups in 50 countries since its inception in 2012. Now, I'm truly confident, and my team is truly confident in Enterprise Singapore, that Starbus will attract the best of startups to participate in this accelerator program in Singapore. And in doing so, bring the vibrancy and the energy that we all need now, okay? In fact, the COVID-19 pandemic has truly induced great pressure to the startups. But like I started my speech, truly with all of the pressure also comes opportunities, and these opportunities are not just in Singapore, but they are bound in our region. Okay. Now, this is attested by some of the international accolades that we are seeing bestowed upon Singapore. In fact, recently we were voted as one of the most innovative ecosystems or the most innovative countries in Asia by the Global Innovation Index. And therefore, I would say that we do have the ecosystem, we do have the environment that will provide the best of ability for some of these ideas to be germinated and to be deployed. There are going to be opportunities to grow a whole new generation of companies, and I feel that this crisis is going to be doing that. This crisis is going to help us, because of the exigencies, to also create some wonderful new companies, new ideas. And where we come in Enterprise Singapore, well, we will be able to be there to help to support the growth and development, the germination of some of these new companies. In Enterprise Singapore, we have the Enterprise Development Grant. Now, this is a grant that actually helps local companies to develop proof of concept, POCs, for innovative projects. We are able to co-fund up to 80% of such development costs. Enterprise Singapore also has the Startup SG Founder Grant Program. Now, this is where we have set aside close to about $150 million into the Startup SG Founder Program to continue spurring innovation and entrepreneurship, especially now in a post-COVID period. For the first time, I think aspiring entrepreneurs are going to be able to have a lot more support to start up their own startups. And I'm very certain that the Startup SG Founder Program will provide very useful capital that's needed for many of these new startups to find runaways, to get started. EDBI, most of you already know EDBI, and also Seeds Capital is another source where we are administering close to about Singapore dollars $285 million of special situation fund for startups to provide financial support for all of the new startups that are coming up with some of these brilliant ideas. In this fund, the EDBI and the Seeds Capital Fund, we will be able to invest almost on a one-to-one basis, and again, we are not just focusing at the early stage, but we're also going to be looking at the later stage innovative startups, so that there's more resilience in some of these solutionings. Last but not least, there's also the Tech at SG. Now, this is another support program the government has that's targeting the global startups looking to anchor in Asia. And again, Singapore continues to welcome the fast-growing tech companies growing to grow and scale, not just in Singapore, but the region. Now, this Tech at SG, this is a 2-year program that aims to provide high-potential startups with growth areas to access business networks and talents needed in order to set up their teams in Singapore. In fact, mentorships will be available, and entrepreneurs with innovative ideas will be able to tap grants of amounting to about Singapore dollars 30,000. So therefore, while COVID-19 has accelerated the demand by the aviation industry for startups to offer innovative solutions, I think there's also plenty of support coming from the private sector, from the government, from the ecosystem, and many of the partners out there, both multinationals and SMEs in the industry. So I believe that despite what we are facing today, this Accelerator program has what it takes and will have the energy to bring about the bright sparks that we all are looking forward to. With that, I'd like to congratulate the organizers and all the participants, and also all the rest of the panelists, thanking you for your support and really wishing you well for the launch of this Accelerator program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. I speak on behalf of everyone in that I say thank you for your leadership and thank you for your support. Everything you said, we have strong foundational belief in, and we are very excited and enthusiastic to bring that innovation and continue to partner with this incredible community. And so we're very much looking forward to this. Thank you very much for your introductory remarks.
It's our pleasure.
So as we move to our next speaker, I just want to remind everyone, my business partner and I, Francois, we've been very committed to Singapore as a region for the last few years. We've spent a lot of time there personally. Mr. Singh referenced how active we've been around the world. Yes, we are active in many countries, and we have supported many startups at that nascency to continue to scale and grow in the market. And now I'd like to invite my business partner, Francois, who's been a wonderful partner and visionary in helping us continue to grow as we see incredible technology and innovation, not just in aviation, but we've seen it in space, in the defense industry, in all kinds of enabling technology infrastructure. And so with that, Francois, if you are ready to say some words, by all means, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Van, for that introduction. Thank you, sir, for the presentation you made, and thanks to the ESG team for their incredible work. And we've been working on that program for the last at least 12 months, and so it's always an excitement to see all these efforts coming alive and starting to to go to fruition. I want to thank also our corporate partner. I want to thank also aviation and aerospace industry of Singapore. They've all been great and supportive, and you know, want to now, what you want to know what we're going to need you even more. So as Van was saying, Singapore has been Starburst home for the last 4 years. Singapore has always been at the forefront of innovations, seeds creations, almost as a necessity. And that's why Singapore Airlines, Changi Airports, and others have been ranking, you know, #1 in passenger experience and in excellence among airlines and airports from around the world. That's why they've been able to emerge as top airline and top airport, despite not being, you know, the biggest or the legacy, but by being the best. We've seen also Singapore emerge as the top place for doing business and for being a startup, not only in the Southeast Asia region, but you know, from around the world and competing with the best ecosystem. It's interesting to say that, but entrepreneurship was not necessary in Singapore DNA, but it has for sure become in the last 5 to 10 years. And after being successful in fintech, medtech, or food tech, it was inevitable that Singapore wanted to also to emerge and pave the way in the aviation tech. At Starburst, we've been accelerating startup for the last 8 years. We work with more than 400 of them. We invested in 60 of them. And we have made our job to support and create, you know, ecosystem. We started in Paris, we expanded in Los Angeles. We are now fully global in 9 different countries, of course, including Singapore, and we are very excited to launch this program, again, supported by ESG and with the participation of amazing corporate partners. We of course truly believe that this program will be a success. We've been working in the past with Singapore startups, whether it was in the space industry, in the defense industry, in the aerospace industry, and we're excited to work more on the aviation side. We've also been, you know, interacting for the last 4 years with Singaporean corporate partners, and we are glad to have Etienne for Airfree on board. That's going to talk more about his experience in working with both Panasonic and Singapore Airlines. And so we want more Airfree type of startups, and that's the plans. We've also been, you know, collaborating with the top Singapore universities, whether it's SUTD in the engineering and software, whether it's NUS, NYU, or Polytechnic. We know and we're sure that we'll find great talents and great emerging startups that we'll be excited to work with. Creating an ecosystem and creating and bringing confidence about that ecosystem to the financial community is the key. Startups to be successful, they need, of course, to demonstrate traction. And so that's why having the corporates is essential. They need all the support they can get from the government, and that's why ESG is fully on board and fully committed. But our role will be to create that strong ecosystem that brings trust to the startup, bring trust to the founders. Aviation is not necessarily the first field in which you think when you are a VC firm, and our job will be to, again, create that trust that VC need in order to invest and to demonstrate that the startup are not just there to demonstrate ideas, but they are there to last, to be successful, and they are there for the long run. So thanks again for all the support we've been getting from Singapore and from the Singapore ecosystem industry, and we are really excited today to launch that program. And we brought on board an amazing team, and thank you, Julius, for all the efforts that you made. I truly believe that it's going to be an amazing success. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Francois. And now, as we prepare for a small panel, we have brought together 3 leaders from Singapore Airlines, aerospace industry of Singapore, and Panasonic Avionics. I'd like to invite each panelist to unmute and show their video, please. And while they do that, I just want to remind everyone we have at the moment over 70 plus attendees following. I'd say about 20% are from the investment community, and about half are from corporate industry, and the remaining balance is a combination of government and research elements. So just to give you a reminder, a flavor of who's in the audience, but again, I just want to remind you that there will be some follow-up and we will continue to share this on social media. So please, could each of you please just quickly introduce yourselves, Jerome, Kenyok, and Andrew, in that order, and tell me your role and what organization you're with.
Sure, Van. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having Singapore Airlines today with you and on this program. These events are very important to us. As you know, we are running our own app challenge, and they are becoming even more important now. My job is to lead the digital innovation at Singapore Airlines. You know, it's a very important program which we kicked off in 2018, so it's been now some time, and a very successful set of initiatives. And as you can read in the newspapers or hear from initiatives we have kicked off, some of them very successful. It's becoming even more important than ever now. I mean, we have accelerated our digital roadmap seriously. I mean, as you can imagine, right? In the current situation, digital is taking even more importance in our life, right? This is just another example of this illustration. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and very, very, very glad to be here and joining this program.
Thank you very much, and I'll come right back to you. Kenyok, please, could you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Kenyok. My last name is Sia, and I'm the Chief Executive of the Association of Aerospace Industries Singapore. AAIS is a corporate membership organization founded 17 years ago to represent aviation and aerospace industry in Singapore. We act as the voice of industry, we facilitate business, and we engender the community. Our vision is an innovative aerospace community for a sustainable future. So we believe that innovation is going to be key to transforming our industry and preparing for the future. And this is needed now, even more so in these surreal times. And as we think about recovery and how to build back better. Francois and Van, we've been tossing ideas for the last 2-3 years. You know, I'm really excited that we're at this point now when we've figured a formula to work together. So I'm really excited. Best wishes to everyone and all the partners who have come on board with the Aviation Accelerator.
Thank you, Kenyok. Yes, your support has been instrumental, and so we're really grateful to have it. And I'll come back to you as well. Andrew, good to see you again. Please introduce yourself and your organization.
Yes, hi, Van. Hi, my name's Andrew Moore. I'm the Vice President of Digital Solutions at Panasonic Avionics. We're the world leader in providing in-flight entertainment systems and connectivity for airlines globally. We've had a very long partnership with Singapore Airlines in particular, going back to the mid-1990s, one of the first airlines to install cabin-wide audio, video on demand, and really a pioneer that we've been able to work in partnership with since that time. A lot of innovations that we've been able to deliver together. This is obviously a challenging time, you know, in the whole industry, and but we really see it as opportunity as well. These kind of challenges really instill a lot of new thinking, creativity, innovation. And so I'm really glad to be able to participate in this event today and, you know, share some ideas and thoughts and listen to others about how we're working together. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So to get things started, Jerome, I'll start with you. Obviously, Singapore Airlines has a brilliant track record of looking at innovation in the passenger experience. Could you provide any more background around some of the app challenges work that you've done, some of the other innovative kind of activities, and how it fits with your business strategy, especially considering some of the commentary around the business climate, the difficult challenges, but as well as the opportunities that you foresee for Singapore Airlines to continue to provide that leadership in this time?
Yes, Van. So first of all, I want to say that everything that Mr. Singh say and François as well really resonates to what we're thinking. So I wouldn't paraphrase what they just said because they said it much better than I would do it. I was thinking, what could I share with you which could make sense to you, which could be interesting to you to know, right? Because I guess you guys must be asking yourself, what's happening at Singapore Airlines, right? There's no plane in the sky, very few planes. So what are you guys doing? And, you know, I mean, I would share a little story with you, because I think this story tells a lot. It's just another story, but this story tells a lot about what's going on in the company. And it goes down, deep down to the values we believe in, right? We are flying planes. Yeah, we are flying people. That's what we do, right? But there is a why we do things, which goes much deeper, you know, in what we believe. What do we believe in, right? We believe in values. We believe in commitment. We believe in excellence service. We believe in a lot of things which go beyond just the what we do, right? And when the what we do is down to what it is today, then we go back very naturally to why we do things, right? And we question ourselves about how we can still, do and be innovative and be creative. Just this little example I want to share with you, which might resonate to some of you. I asked my team, you know, when the situation started becoming really serious, when we realized that, okay, this is not just another, you know, episode, this is going to be a long marathon. I questioned my team and asked my team, who is in charge of digital innovation at Singapore. I told them, what do you think we could do? Right? Of course, you know, we all understand that we have more digital, that we want to build features, functions, touchless services and whatnot. That's for sure. But I won't talk too much about that because that's what most airlines would do, right? What I want to bring up here is something maybe a bit different, which illustrates what I was trying to talk about just now. And they came back to me very strongly. They came back to me in less than a week and they said, you know what, we're gonna build a community platform. I was like, what do you mean? They said, we're gonna build a platform where everybody can come, you know, pilots, cabin crews, engineers, ground officers, whoever has an idea and thinks that we can do something about the situation can come, share the idea on this platform, right? And we created this community platform and it's been a blast. It's been extremely successful. And I tell you something, you know, because we every morning we wake up and we have this set of bad news about, you know, the situation and what's going on. And we go like, it's very easy to get dragged down, you know, and to get demoralized. And whenever I feel like a bit down, I go to this community platform and I read what people are posting there. Cabin crews coming with ideas of how we can get our customers feel safer, feel better flying with us. Pilots coming with ideas. I mean, everyone, I'm talking about hundreds of people, right? Coming and sharing their ideas and other people reacting to their ideas, complementing their ideas, shaping their ideas, reshaping their ideas. Not all of these ideas are applicable and not all of them could be implemented for sure, but some of them are already on the way of being implemented. So what I'm trying to say here is, I think that's what really defines Singapore Airlines. I would say Singapore more broadly. It's this kind of attitude which is, you know, no, we're not gonna be victim. We're not gonna sit down and wait for things to get better. You know, we're gonna do something about it, right? Whatever we can do. And you've probably heard that, you know, of course, I know I could mention that the leadership started, you know, making sure that people or staff feel safe and, you know, as well physically as well as mentally. So that was very, very important. Of course, we secured some cash flow because we thought cash flow, you know, in this kind of situation, not going to sustain. But you know, there is more than that, right? And this more than that is what we're talking about today, right? Of course, here I'm talking about mobilizing internal energies, which is very important because we need to get these people to think positively and look forward. But now here we're talking about mobilizing the external energies, which is a million times the horsepower we have internally. And that's what really we believe in. And we believe that this program is extremely important to us because we have demonstrated in the past through our App Challenge or Accelerator program. And by the way, today we have Airfree, who was introduced to me by an investor, by Frank, I think 2 years ago. And they went through our program, our Accelerator program. And I'm very, very proud to see that they're present here today. I mean, I wish them really success, but I'm very proud that my team was very initiated this work with them here, at least in Asia. They have been already quite successful in other places of the world, but in Asia, we take the pride of being one of their first partner. So that's what I wanted to share with you, you know, some insights about what's going on in our company. And digital innovation is more important than ever, right? We need to join forces. We need to mobilize positive energy and look forward. And those who had these strong values before the COVID situation and who stand for these values, I'm convinced they will emerge stronger. Right? That's really what I deeply believe in. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. I completely resonate, and I love the approach, and I do think it's the right approach, and we're really grateful to have you as part of this again, this initiative. We, without a doubt, to open that community globally and to every entrepreneur, and Francois and I and the entire Starburst team has continued to see it over and over again that this is the place, this is the gateway and the place with the right stakeholders to continue to pursue that. So we really appreciate your support with that. I think this is a convenient segue into maybe your thoughts, not just looking at it from the airline perspective, but the broader industry. I mean, you've been committed to this for so long and you've seen it change over time. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you see not just the airline leading the innovation and transforming the position of the industry. How can that integrate into the broader local industry as well? I think you're still on mute, just to make sure.
Thank you, Vian.
Yeah.
You know, I so love what Jerome just said, and his emphasis on tapping into the energy of the community. And that is so much what an association like us is about, right? It's about harnessing that energy, which is why our vision statement, which I introduced earlier, is to be an innovative aerospace community for a sustainable future. And it's so natural, therefore, for us to want to work with you on this Aviation Accelerator, because it is about tapping into the innovative spirit and energy of the community. We see what is being done here as a catalyst for change, promoting new approaches and opening new opportunities to everyone. You know, and as an industry body, we're trying to be part of this effort to grow an innovation culture in our industry. You think of big aerospace, and the typical approach to innovation is big corporate R&D departments and so on and so forth. We know that's changing, and we want to accelerate that change even further. And it's wonderful to have partners such as yourselves and Singapore Airlines and Panasonic, who are themselves experiencing this internal transformation process. If I may also think a little bit about this point at the broader level, at the Singapore level, you know, for some years now, well, I guess this is always a Singapore characteristic to have a lot of angst over our competitiveness and whether we're still up to it or not. And so for some years now, we've launched a series of what we call industry transformation plans or transformation maps for more than 20 over industries, one after another. And this includes air transport as well as aerospace. And if you think about what has been talked about on the airport side, Just a few examples would be, the idea of a smart tower for better situation awareness at the airport. What about automated passenger loading bridge, that can dock safely as well as autonomously? And even in terms of managing our flight information region better by harnessing space-based VHF communications. I mean, these have been some of the topics that are being addressed currently. And likewise, we think there are a lot more opportunities, for operational efficiency or for biosafety in these times. And the answers won't just be found within the aerospace community. A lot of the startups that I'm hoping will be attracted to the program actually have experience elsewhere in other applications, but can see the relevance of what they're doing in our space. So that's going to open up the community definition beyond our own industry to other adjacent areas. So this is really exciting for me, and I'm sure that's the same for all of us here.
Thank you, King Yoke. And I don't think you know this, but you were one of the people that actually inspired me to read Lee Kuan Yew's book. So understanding a lot of that heritage of Singapore and how that transpires into the broader aviation industry. And so I appreciate kind of where you're coming from with all that and how that fits the sort of the story and the roadmap of how industries or the culture and the policies that drive that kind of the public sector is pushing into the industry. So it's truly remarkable. Thank you for those words. Excellent. Andrew, I'll hand it over to you now. Obviously, a lot of people may not appreciate or realize the incredible work that goes on behind the scenes to allow the connectivity of the passengers to happen and the experience that happens with them. So maybe if you could shed a little bit more light about the philosophy of how your business embraces tech innovation, but also how you have seen that kind of partnership continue to develop with these early stage entrepreneurs that are looking to continue to radicalize and bring those capabilities into an environment that you all know too well.
Sure. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, the innovation is really, I mean, this is a foundation of us as a tech company, as in its most basic, we do cabin electronics, but there's an entire ecosystem that is put together for that. And more importantly, over the last decade has really been the role of digital within that. That's why only recently we reorganized our group, Panasonic, with a dedicated digital solutions unit. And so that because we really see the digital being the true differentiator as the hardware is more and more, it's essential, it's important, but it's more really just a platform. And, this is nothing brand new. You see this with Apple devices, Google devices, and so forth, where the hardware is interesting. It plays an important, powerful role, but it's really the digital experience and the differentiation of that, where this kind of slab of metal and glass can do, the role of what 10, 15 years ago was accomplished by dozens of different physical devices. And that's really the future that we see increasingly for what we do is we put a platform on board an aircraft for an airline, tie it into a broader ecosystem of connected services. And it's not just entertainment, it's not just connectivity, it's really sort of a multi-purpose digital hub, if you will, that an airline can repurpose for whatever is necessary for them. Whether it's a traditional entertainment, or we've had airlines that have used it as a restaurant in the sky, as an ordering system for meals, for monetization, and all sorts of things. And this is an area that is still, I think, in quite an early stage for our industry, but it's becoming more and more important. And I think what we're going through with COVID is driving an awful lot of new thinking around what we can do. Jerome mentioned earlier, there is some of this obvious stuff like what we call like digital hygiene, where we can use digital tools, whether it's on the passenger's personal device or in the seat screen, to do things like the magazines and the menus and so forth. reduce the actual physical contact and exchange that happens, and put the technology to that service. So, you know, the acronym for our industry is IFEC, In-Flight Entertainment Connectivity. It's really due for a bit of a reboot, because the goal is to put on basically a technological canvas, if you will, with the tools, so that airlines like Singapore, with their own internal innovation initiatives and the crowdsourcing of ideas that they do, they can bring those to this platform, and we can, as easily as possible, get those on board and make those really unique to Singapore, or you know, whoever, you know, whatever the mission is. So you know, and then the startup community really plays into this exactly, because we create some applications, we do some things that we feel are pretty mission critical for the platform itself. But the real innovation is going to come through lots of small startups that have a unique perspective on what can be accomplished in this space, working closely with airlines on special niche needs, if you will, and kind of creating those new digital tools and digital experiences. So we think it's something that we want to nurture, we want to stay close to, so that we understand how can we best facilitate it, and how can it bring more value to our customers and to the platforms that we deliver. So it's, you know, again, as I said, you know, these are challenging times, and it's fostering some creativity. But the interesting thing about what we do, in-flight entertainment, is we're trying to get a consumer experience, by and large, into a very challenging environment. You know, we have size, weight, power considerations, regulatory considerations. You're not always connected at the same bandwidth as you may. And dealing with those constraints is really, that's really the heart of what we work on. We broker experiences from the ground into the flying space. And in doing that, it's all about constraints. So COVID, what we're going through right now, is a new set of constraints, and we think it's going to continue to, you know, inspire some new thinking. We think the products that will come out the other side of this are going to be different, and I think you're going to see a lot more versatility from what you would expect from, you know, that square in the seat back, or, you know, what you get on your personal device when you're connected in the aircraft.
I love it. I'm really excited about the diversity of stakeholders involved in. I mean, you are all the gold standard, and together you're opening a door for any talented entrepreneur to come and pilot their project into a proof of concept. So I welcome this, and I thank each of our panelists. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Kengyok, and thank you, Jerome, for sharing your insights. With that, we will transition now to our next speaker. I think we really did a good job of setting the scene on what is the vision, who are the stakeholders involved, and now with your permission, Etienne, if you can show your video, and panelists, I'll invite you to switch off your videos. So Etienne is the founder of Airfree. We've worked with him for quite some time, and obviously you've been interacting with the industry for quite some time. I think speaking to the founders in the audience, and remember this will be continue to be broadcast, maybe we'd love to hear some of your lessons learned, your experience, how it means to go through an accelerator program, and just kind of shed some of your journey that you've been through to get to where you are, please.
Well, thank you, Van, thank you all, and well, good afternoon, good morning to all of you. Well, I'm very honored and grateful to Starburst to be part of this event, along with Enterprise Singapore, Singapore Airlines, and Panasonic, who are leading the way in digital innovation in aviation. I'm Etienne de Verdelan, the co-founder and CEO of Airfree, and well, obviously there is a good fit to tell you more about Airfree today and during this launch event. as we are a startup part of Starburst since 2018. Well, we went successfully through the Singapore Airline Innovation Program, thanks to Jerome. Well, we have Singapore Airline as launch customer, and I will tell you a bit more about it. And we also have Panasonic as key strategic partner. So everything you said resonates a lot to me, and I think I have some things to say about what it means to participate in the Accelerator program. Just maybe I should start with a quick word on Airfree and explain you who we are and what we do. So we are a French startup created back in 2016 by three co-founders, more with retail, technology, and e-commerce background. We are today a team of 13 people with the aim to reinvent in-flight shopping. So in-flight shopping, you all know the traditional way of doing it, and this is something that did not change a lot in the last 50 years, with a paper catalog on board and trolley used by the crew. Whereas it is a very old school way of doing business, and sales have been sinking in the last years. And with less than $2 per passenger, airline have a very low share of travel retail business in general, as passenger spend in airport is in average $30. Of course, because of the challenging economical model and logistic pains, many airlines decided in the recent past to withdraw this business, like well, KLM, TAP, Qantas, and others. And the COVID is accelerating this trend with a strong need of contactless solution, as passengers now have an aversion to physical shopping, and paper catalog are not possible anymore. Airline has a very strong asset to develop a new onboard digital retail channel. They have the data of who is traveling, where and when. They have multiple touch points with emails, mobile apps, IFE, in-flight Wi-Fi portal. They have a strong lifestyle brand with high awareness and loyalty. And of course, millions of hours of available time from passenger during flight, when the aircraft are flying, of course. Some airlines successfully developed pre-order online retail channel, like Singapore Airlines did with Swisshop. Singapore Airlines was strongly leading the way in this area, but none of them has addressed the in-flight opportunity yet, and this is what Airfree offers. With roughly 30% of commercial aircraft today offering in-flight connectivity, the development of onboard digital retail channel should be straightforward, but it is not really, because of the limited satellite bandwidth, making any online shopping experience very painful and slow for the passenger. And second, because of the huge bandwidth cost, making the economical model not sustainable when the solution is to whitelist an e-commerce website hosted on the ground. Airfree offers a technical solution allowing to avoid these constraints and provide seamless online shopping experience for the passenger. And on top of the technology, we partner with many retailers, including airport duty free and we make their offer available on the marketplace. So in a nutshell, and to make it to end the presentation, so the passenger can access on their personal device or on the IFE feedback screen a mainstream e-commerce platform with thousands of products available from multiple retailers, and delivery option available ranges from airport click and collect provided by a duty-free retailer. It can also be seat delivery within the same flight or in a future flight provided by the airline itself, or home delivery or down click and collect provided by a mainstream retailer. Well, sorry for this long introduction about what we do, but I need to go back to the question, the topic of the event, on what it means to participate in the Accelerator program. As I said previously, so we have been selected in Starburst Accelerator program in 2018, and we saw three major benefits. First benefit is obviously to get business introduction and credibility as a startup. None of the three Airfree founders has a background in airline or high-tech industry, and it is a very closed and risk-averse world, and it is obviously not yet in the DNA, generally speaking, in the airline industry to work with startups. So high-tech introduction and further business relation came from Starburst with Panasonic and Thales. They are both today strategic partners of Airfree, as we technically integrate within their system on board and work together on commercial leads with the airlines. It is something very important to us, as we developed a technology allowing to host our web-based tracking solution within the aircraft on the high-tech equipment. This allows to achieve a reduction of satellite bandwidth use by a factor of 100 or more as compared to a ground-hosted website. But we are also very grateful to Starburst for the initial introduction with Singapore Airlines. As you understand, they became our launch customer, and well, we hope we help Singapore Airlines maintaining its competitive edge. But for sure, they will be the first to provide advanced e-commerce experience on board to their passenger with the full range of cruise shop offer available online. We also hope that well, together with Panasonic, we can add further value to Singapore Airlines by extending our solution to the Panasonic-equipped fleet in the coming months. Second benefit for us of being part of the Starburst Accelerator is obviously to get support in fundraising process. Well, Starburst knows of course the ecosystem of VCs very well, and how to effectively work with them, which is not straightforward for a company like us. And so last year we closed our seed extension fundraising in May, and well, Starburst has obviously been very helpful in the process, both for preparation work and with the introduction. Third benefit is on strategic direction and mentoring. We are in regular talks with Starburst about well, business decision, and we recently received support from a mentor with very high industry expertise in the precise area of in-flight connectivity, and this has been very precious to us. So in a nutshell, and after 4 years managing a startup in this industry, where I know how challenging it is to achieve effective collaboration with big players, so should it be the airline or high-tech providers, as I said, they are by nature very conservative and risk-adverse. Well, this is logical, well, given the business models that they have. And they are often more comfortable working on innovation by themselves or with other big companies. They have expectations playing strongly against the idea of working with startup. And I can give well, some example in this area on security and compliance level, where their expectations are very high for startup. They expect a proven solution, often with a very long track record. They expect also a tailor-made solution versus standard generic approach. And they also expect long-term financial sustainability and stability of their supplier. And in the meantime, they often do not expect to pay the solutions at their real value. So these are very significant challenge to overcome for an early stage startup like us, with less than 20 people and no revenue. And in my view, and after 3 years working with Starburst and getting their support, well, it has been instrumental in achieving this collaboration with some of the key players of this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Etienne. That's very kind. And again, it has been a pleasure to work with you. So thank you for the remarks. And with that, keep your video on. If all of the previous speakers could also show their video, I just want to kind of get a group shot. And while you're all loading, Chuming, I don't know if you're there as well. We'd love it if you can show your screen. Don't worry, I won't make you say anything. But just a reminder that tomorrow, or in the next few hours, we'll be announcing our link and press release so that we can start accepting applications over the next month. So again, I really genuinely, respectfully appreciate, Mr. Singh, your wise words on the state of the industry. Francois, thank you again for continuing to for us to grow this adventure together, and all of our partners, from Panasonic Avionics to Singapore Airlines, AAIS, as well as SATS on the ground handling ops side, and many other stakeholders. We'll be announcing more information. Applications will be open for the next month, and please stay tuned. In the meantime, feel free to go to aviation-accelerator.com for more information, and we'll be publishing this for you. Thank you all. We'll do some flash hands, and we'll see you online soon. Cheers. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.